Hi, I'm going to talk about music and my journey with it. I was brought up in an environment that always was questioning of systems and of society. My father was Telugu speaking and from a land owning family, and my mother was half Kashmiri and half Tamil Christian. They broke with tradition, fell in love, and got married, even though their families disapproved. They lived for their art and for life. My father sold his land away like sweets for almost nothing, so they could have a honeymoon in Spain for a year and live like gods and do their art. Needless to say, by the time I came around, we were poor. But only financially. In everything else, we were millionaires. From an early age, I was exposed to various cultures, customs, and musical forms. European classical music, American jazz, popular music from Andrew Sisters to Jimi Hendrix, old Saigal records, film musics of the 50s, North and South Indian classical music filled our house. All this and the very environment of the Madras I grew up in. In the mornings, you always heard M.S. Subbalakshmi's Suprabhatam, and late at night or early morning, you heard the Mullah's call. In my younger days, say when I was about 11 or so, I did feel like an outsider, as I would not accept things and situations so willingly or naively. And I always questioned authority. But my peers and fellow students whose families had not differed too much from the families of the past seemed to accept things without question. At that young age, I thought I was at a disadvantage. To me, it seemed like my friends were more accepting of their culture and therefore more trusting and more comfortable in their skins. Also in America, when I went to study at Berklee College of Music, I felt the same way, that I was an outsider. The blues they played was the blues of the black slaves, and I was playing blues of India. So they did not really understand me or my journey. But this was only as long as I needed acceptance. Later I came to realize that this was a unique position to be in, as you can question both cultures and appreciate, pick and choose of what I wanted from different cultures. And what I took was positive. I was able to learn from our system and from our music, not blindly follow it, but to question and challenge it. The same happened with Western music. It eventually had to connect with me. I had to feel it for me to own it. It was only then that I stopped thinking of myself as an outsider and as a barrier, but rather as a ladder to create music expressing my own journey and where I was coming from. What interested me in modern Western music was the freedom and the expression of the individual, as well as the glorious harmonies of Western classical and contemporary music. I love the study of combination of sounds and their individual journeys to the end of the piece, either repeating the upper voice or complementing the lower one. I'm just going to demonstrate a little bit of that so you... So if the upper piece was something like this in classical music, and the lower piece was this, so together it would be something like this. Or if it was contrapuntal, and the bass was together it would be... So when I studied Western classical music, I was amazed by the harmonies and the various voices that blend together. In jazz, harmony took on a new meaning. You could see it like an extra dimension. Harmony was getting more complex with the addition of so many more extensions, like the nines, the 13s, the flat 9, sharp 9, flat 5, sharp 5, etc. Because in time the ear develops and what we might have considered unpleasant in the past becomes musical. This is the magic of human evolution. I will just show you those chords if you... it just has extensions in it. In Indian music, I love the emotion and the rhythmic brilliance, the profound spiritual effect it creates. I love the emotional influence that bending a note causes. And the gamakas. And the rhythmic mathematical brilliance to make us come back to the sum or the initial beat. And also I love it for its spiritual nature and its sublime bliss. I wonder if you know Indian music, it's so mathematically perfect. So if you have 8 beats and each beat is divided into 4, so you have 32 beats. So they have so many combinations in it. So for example, you can divide it into 3, 4 and 5, which is 12, and then 3 sevens, which is 21. So it becomes 33, which comes back on the first beat of the next 8. So it will be like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And in Indian, it will be like takita, takadimi, takita, tadim, ginatom, tadim, ginatom, tadim, ginatom. So like this, there are millions of combinations. Music influences and is influenced by society everywhere. In India, as a culture and as people, we are far more internal and inward, and our classical music reflects this. In both Hindustani and Carnatic music, we use single formations of notes, that is melody. Because of the focus on single note melodic formation, we developed a highly sophisticated rhythmic system. We are not yet very well versed in musical harmony or working with many voices, or with orchestras or large groups. Our attempts at harmony thus far are still naive. Same goes for our cities and our systems developed for our people. You can see it in a lack of harmony in our traffic. No one stops at a red light. Each individual has his own idea of what to do, whether is he driving on the wrong side of the road or overtaking us just to be in front of us, just to be in front of the next person. They have not learned the basics of harmony. Or in our queue systems, there's always an optimist slowly trying to jump ahead in the line, or the spitting on the streets so we can't walk, or the urinating on the walls so we can't breathe. Definitely not a society that understands the qualities of harmony and coexistence. As I mentioned before, India also developed an intricate rhythmic system of various time signatures and cycle forms that mesmerize the audience. We can multiply, divide, and arrive at the same answer all the time. This, in music or in life, if not controlled, becomes just an exercise and eventually is merely clever. And mere cleverness without commitment leads to corruption. Also, the Indian concept of rebirth is very much like our rhythmic cycle of coming back to the sum and then starting all over again. Our idea that good and evil are two sides of the same coin gives us a binary mind, but also provides us a good excuse, since the culture gives us to believe that we can always accomplish our ideas or our dreams in our next life. On the other hand, in Western cities, sometimes you follow rules so diligently that I noticed in Germany recently that my vision was getting narrower. When I come to the street light, seeing it green, I walk across, never looking to see if cars are coming or is it safe. I just succumb to the system and then assume it is safe. So slowly trusting the system implicitly, you give up your cognizance and then your freedom. This in turn allows the system to run efficiently, but at what cost? The stark reality of Western world and that believes good and evil to be diametric opposites makes life more immediate and the individual more answerable in this life. Our Indian way has so many layers that it can often appear confusing and anarchic. But as you can see, both systems have their pluses and minuses. It is no surprise Indians do so well in computer systems. Anyway, coming back to my music, I wanted to create harmonies that reflect my feeling and my life while developing a style on the instrument that is unique. Also, I play with my thumb, using it as a plectrum, which is not common. I slide my fingers on the strings to create gamakas. I attempted all these ideas on this piece, Deviant Goddess. This piece is in a cyclic form of 16 beats and uses the Indian system of different time signatures and returns back to the one. The harmonies I have taken from our surroundings and Bangalore city life. There is a mid-section where I have explored harmonies in 6/8 time. Here I have taken Western classical music and improvised on this format using an improvisational technique from jazz. So here is Deviant Goddess. Thank you so much. Now, just the last little bit, that most of all, I feel music must question society and hold a mirror up to people. Music has the power to make us evolve into better societies and broaden our outlook and our capability to love others and ourselves. Just trying to find a commercial link in a society fails music and makes it fall short of the real power. Music is meant to raise one's consciousness, and because of that, society's consciousness. Thank you. Thank you so much.